What is Gex? He's a gecko.
Gex was a video game series created by a company called Crystal Dynamics, who are nowadays more well known for developing some of the Tomb Raider games. But they actually got their start developing games for a system called the 3DO. They were trying to make something similar to Mario and Sonic, but instead of coming up with something original like a fast-running hedgehog or Italian plumber, they came up with a gecko named Gex. I mean, he does look like he has that sleazy 90s attitude. There was only 3 Gex games ever made. The first one was Gex for the 3DO, the second one was called Gex Enter the Gecko, and the third one is the one I actually own, which is Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko. And I would like to mention that before I purchased this game, I looked up online to see what the game was like, and one of the first things that pulled up was Gex covering up a woman's bare naked chest. I don't see anything wrong with this if you don't.
Let's save some money on some car insurance. You know, because he's a gecko.
Here it is, Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko. And I would like to point out on this tiny little island, there is a hot dog stand and a vending machine that has Gex's name on it. And there's also this thing. I don't even know what this is. Look, even Gex is confused. He doesn't even know what to make of it. So the game starts off with a narration telling us that Gex's partner, Agent Extra, has gone missing. And if she looks familiar to any of you, she's actually played by a Playboy model named Release Andrada. Yeah, I'm full of nothing but facts today. This game has some janky controls, and they really don't go well with Gex's abilities. Since this game is a platformer, one of Gex's main abilities is to jump. He can even curl his tail into a spring while he's in the air to jump higher. Another one of Gex's abilities is to whack stuff with his tail. And this is probably my most favorite ability overall, mostly because of the sound effect it makes when you hit stuff with it. Yeah, you like that, don't you, you little turtle? Gex can even stick out his tongue. I'm not sure what significance this has, but Gex can do it. And now that I finished the tutorial, I can now play the first level, which is Christmas themed? Why is the first level of the game Christmas themed? This game is like Walmart, bringing out its Christmas decorations early. And listen to this music.
Yeah, doesn't that just get you into the Christmas spirit?
It sure does. Ho ho ho, I'm so freaking cold.
This game seems to take some inspiration from Super Mario 64 and Banjo Kazooie. For example, for every level there are missions you have to do to get remotes. Yeah, remotes. Think of the remotes like the Power Stars from Super Mario 64. There are even some collectibles in the level, but I'm not sure if they have any significance other than just collecting them. And they even ripped the pause screen straight out of Banjo Kazooie. I've noticed that this game has an odd obsession with televisions. Even Gex sometimes says random quotes from famous movies.
How do you like me now? Forget about it. Somebody's gotta do it. Aggie, bring it to the fences, baby. Come back, R2. Night, night, baby. Yeah. Jabba, I've come for Captain Solo.
That's it, I'm turning back.
I've gotta be honest, this game is actually pretty fun. Like I mentioned before, it does take a lot of elements from other platforming games, and frankly, that's the only reason why I think it's fun. But don't worry, Banjo Kazooie, I still love you. Once you've collected enough remotes, you can now play the second level, and the theme for this level is mystery.
The only mystery here is, where are my pants? I should probably go find them.
This level is actually pretty weird. For starters, there's this. Now that's just horrible. Somebody spilt their tomato juice on the rug. Don't worry, just put some Mr. Clean on that. It'll be okay. The level takes place in a mansion where I guess a crime was committed. But I don't know. This seems more like a haunted house to me. You got all these stuffed bears coming alive, all these guys with rifles shooting at you. Seems like some pretty scary stuff. One of the major differences of this level from the first one is that Gex now has a magnifying glass. But instead of using it to find the person who killed this guy over here, you instead examine sparkling things. When you examine the sparkling things, Gex will shrink down and it'll take you to little sub-levels where everything is big. The levels usually have you completing a task in a certain amount of time, and that's basically just it. You kill some bugs, get a thing. You pop some bubbles, get a thing. That's it, that's all you have to do. This would have been cool if the levels weren't confined to that one area where the sparkling parts were at. But instead I'm walking on a stuffed bear's head, and if I jump off of it, I fall into the endless void. I mean, come on guys, I know we're talking about the Nintendo 64 here, but you could have at least made a gigantic chair or something. I finished the level and got the remote, then a door opened up which led to more levels. And it was at this point in the game when I realized this game is really easy. Most of the platforming segments aren't too hard, and the enemies seem that they're only added to give easy levels more challenge. But don't get me wrong, this game can be a total crapshoot at times. Like this one part in the tutorial level, I'm supposed to use Gex's karate kick attack to get to this platform. But for some reason, it won't work. I'm not for sure if I'm doing it wrong. From what this turtle guy says, I'm supposed to press Z while running. But no matter how many times I do it, it won't work. I've even tried another controller and it still wouldn't work. And then I resorted to an emulator, and guess what? It worked! No, I'm just kidding, it didn't work. The main problem this game suffers from is its lack of originality. Again, it takes so many elements from more popular 3D platformers, it just makes me want to play those games instead of this piece of crap. Instead of creating its own thing, this game seems like it's trying to be way too much like its competitors. And almost all 3D platformers at the time had something unique about them. Crash Bandicoot crashed into boxes, Banjo Kazooie collected things, and in Super Mario 64 you explored and collected stars. And in Gex 3, you basically do all the same thing.
I know I'm giving out mixed opinions about this game, whether it's good because it's like other 3D platformers or not. But seriously, would you rather play this or the better alternative? It's a no-brainer. And speaking of better alternatives, let's get this crap out and play something good. Now this is how you celebrate Christmas, right, Petey?
Sure, and how about you let me lick some of that peanut butter?
Okay, but don't eat the whole thing. It's just that you've been getting a little tubby lately. I'm just concerned about your weight.
Whatever, fatty. Now give me some of that tub of holiday cheer.